Drivers in Singapore may soon be committing an offence simply by holding their mobile devices while their vehicles are moving, even when they are not using it. This is part of proposed changes to the country's road traffic laws, first introduced in Parliament today. If passed, traffic police will no longer need to prove that a driver was using the device. Noah Kong reports.
So under today's laws, officers must prove that the driver was holding and operating their mobile device while driving. So the Home Affairs Ministry says that's difficult to enforce. So this bill proposes to take that requirement away. That means officers can show that the driver was holding their device through cameras or through photos and videos submitted by the public. So I'm hitting the roads today to find out how big of a problem that is. Along with my camera crew, we drove around town on a weekday afternoon to catch drivers in the act. I'm looking out for three things: holding or looking at the device in hand, and using the device when it's mounted. So now it's about 4 o'clock and we just drove through Orchard Road and now we're turning onto South Bridge Road, and just in the span of about 5 to 10 minutes we saw about 2 people using their phones while holding it in their hand. And I'm being careful to count this. I'm only counting it if we know that I can see clearly that they're using the phone, because sometimes it's a bit hard to tell because they have their phone down, and from my angle, it's a bit hard to see. Yeah, it's even getting a bit rainy now. It's going to be a bit of a concern, but let's see how it goes from here. In about an hour and a half, we saw 7 drivers holding their phones in their hands while their vehicles were moving. Every one of them were glancing at their handheld phones, in one case for about 1 kilometer on a straight road. Most were driving private cars, while some drove company trucks or vans. 3 others we observed were using their phones while mounted. However, none of them seemed to drive dangerously.
We will see about 3 or 4 persons a day using the phone. I think government have to do something on it, because if not, when it have happened in accident, how we cannot bear the cost.
你看手机就没有，那精神就破坏了。
我坐巴士，我看下面有人开车看手机，但我觉得很危险。可是他有信息，他要回吗？
Now this proposed law doesn't just apply to mobile phones. It can also include a tablet or even a smartwatch. But there's no issue as long as you're wearing it the way it was intended. Mounted devices too are not a problem as long as it's on a proper holder, for example for navigation. But it's still an offence to install a visual display that poses a distraction or is a safety hazard. So drivers can still hold their device when the vehicle is stationary. But the key point is this: once the vehicle is moving, keep the phone out of your hands.
So sometimes your reflex action, can be slow. So the best way, to look at it is not to hold the phone at all. And you can have a gadget stuck onto the panel in the car. You can always use a voice for emergency purposes.
There is no change to penalties. First-time offenders face a fine of up to $1,000 and 6 months jail. Repeat offenders face up to a $2,000 fine and 12 months jail.
The proposed changes to the Road Traffic Act also include other tough penalties for errant motorists. This comes as road safety has worsened in recent years, with traffic violations and the fatality rate on the rise since 2021. First up, stricter limits for drink driving. The current limit is 35 micrograms of alcohol in 100 milliliters of one's breath. Authorities are proposing for this to be lowered to 15 micrograms. That's around 1.5 cans of regular beer for males and 1 can for females. And there could be stronger penalties for dangerous driving if they were found to cause grievous hurt, such as traumatic brain injuries. Jail terms will also be longer if there were other aggravating factors, such as drink driving and repeat offences, as much as an extra 3.5 years. And a new offence was tabled to punish those who use their vehicles on purpose to endanger others and cause grievous hurt. Such behaviours include deliberately tailgating, swerving or braking suddenly, even pressing the horn multiple times, which may endanger another motorist's life. Offenders could get jail of up to 15 years, caning, a fine, and banned from driving for life. Authorities are also proposing for it to be an offence to drive with controlled drugs, intoxicating or psychoactive substances present in one's blood. And drivers will be liable regardless of the quantity of such substances found, except for drugs taken under a legal medical prescription, and the driver did not know taking it might impair driving.
The timing is right because the government have been looking at the statistics for the last 3-4 years. And they have done a lot of campaigns and a lot of changes also in 2019, I think, some changes. But the statistics still going up. So I don't think there's any choice in order to reduce the accident and fatality rate. But the penalty had to be enforced. Because education only can do so much.